Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning to you, to colleagues, and to our star witnesses here today. Thank you. This hearing is an important first step to reauthorizing the Pandemic and All Hazards Preparedness Act, also known as PAHPA. It's a priority for me that the PAHPA reauthorization is a product of bipartisan negotiation and compromise, and I'm proud to work with Congressman Richard Hudson, a terrific partner, and it's a great way to start when you have a terrific partner, to pass this law before the September 30th deadline. Representative Hudson and I issued a bipartisan request for information on February 27th to seek input on PAHPA, and we've received over 250 responses from a full range of medical and public health stakeholders. So this is an important and a very important first step and start on this, and we're grateful to all the stakeholders for responding. My thanks to our witnesses for the valuable perspectives you're going to share with us today, and for your important work on the front lines, protecting, preparing, responding to public health emergencies. In 2001, our country endured the attacks of September 11th and the anthrax attacks shortly thereafter. That may be deeply buried in the past. It's vivid to me. And at that time, Congress realized our country was not prepared to coordinate responses to mass casualty events or chemical attacks. I authored legislation with then Representative Richard Burr, who was a member of this committee, that established the Office of the Assistant Secretary for Preparedness and Response, ASPR, to be responsible for coordinating federal responses, and the Biomedical Advanced Research and Development Authority, BARDA, to be responsible, and Richard and I did that law together, that legislation, to be responsible for developing desperately needed medical countermeasures for chemical, biologic, radiological, and nuclear threats. That important bipartisan legislation was signed into law in 2006 and was most recently reauthorized in 2019, an effort I led with really another great partner. I miss her to this day, former Congresswoman Susan Brooks. She really served with distinction on this committee. Since its creation, BARDA has been hugely successful, and I'm enormously proud of that. Its efforts have led to 69 FDA licensures, approvals, and clearances of medical countermeasures. Without BARDA's important work, we would not have been blessed with a safe and effective COVID vaccine as quickly as we were. BARDA now needs additional investments in authorities so that it can continue to develop technologies and platforms that can rapidly produce vaccines, therapeutics, diagnostics, and other tools to protect our nation from potential threats. This PAHPA reauthorization has to meet the challenges we witnessed during the COVID pandemic and anticipate the challenges of the future. I will never, ever forget the following: turning on my TV set and seeing our nation's healthcare workers wrapping themselves in black garbage bags, plastic garbage bags. And it was because they lacked proper personal protective equipment. Like many members of Congress, I spent 2020 trying to secure ventilators, other essential supplies for the hospitals in my district. I know that you did it in yours. We have to make sure that our stockpiles are real and that they're adequate to prevent the chaos that we experienced. COVID also exposed the fragility of our supply chains, especially for pharmaceutical and medical products. These are critical goods that we can't live without. And our medical supply chain is broken in three devastating ways: shortages, especially during high demand in an emergency, subpar manufacturing, and an over-reliance on foreign production. So today's hearing is especially meaningful. I'll draw my comments to a close because my time is up. I look forward to everything that takes place in this all-important hearing, and I yield back, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for holding this hearing.
Thank you. The gentlelady yields back. The chair now recognizes the chair